welcome to my YouTube channel, Juliet McNeil Crafts, and it's time for Dawn and Juliet Create. And I chose it this time, and Dawn's not speaking to me. She sent me a message saying, I've just told my mum I'm not speaking to her anymore. She says she still loves me, but she's not speaking to me. So, what have I done to deserve this? Well, we are to use this gorgeous polka dot floral stamp from the Garden Tot collection. I absolutely adore this flower. It's one of my favourite ones I've ever done. This one here, Dotty Daisy, and Stamplamentals. Oh, you can tell this is well loved. It's needing a good wash. Stamplamentals Edition 2, which is the one that's got my granny's handwriting on it. 2 of the JMC stencils, which is the circle one and the floral one. And we have to make 2 one-layer cards. One is to be a clean and simple one, and one lots of layers and sort of a bit of a mixed media vibe and all of that. So yeah, that's what we're going to do. I think that is perfectly reasonable. Well, the reason why we're doing this, you see, I'll tell you, is I've challenged Dawn before to make I'm going to be really bad and actually clean up this ink instead of stick it in a journal page. But as usual, I'm pushed for time. I am trying to do 600 things right now. I'm trying to film this. I've got to do some filming for a collab with Angie tomorrow. And I'm also trying to get a hold of images coloured from a packaging for the stamps that will be released in April. And I've not even started prepping my show for Hichanda on the 22nd. So yeah, it's that crazy. Yeah, anywho, back to the story. I once asked Dawn to make a one-layer card, and she used three. I mean, it was not like she added one little extra bit. 3 layers. She had this, then a top layer, then a sentiment. That's not one layer. So I've said that this challenge is going to keep coming back and biting her in the bahookie until she actually behaves and does one layer. So we'll see when I watch this whether she's on the naughty step or whether she can come off the naughty step and we can move forward. Although, to be honest, I'm kind of sort of cutting my own nose off to spite my own face, because now I have to make a one layer card too, and they're not really, I'm not overly good at them. Right, I'm going to go for my my sort of multi-layered one first. Yeah, and I'm just going to see what occurs. So I'm going to start off by getting in some stenciling down. I have got some oxide. So the thing is with one layer cards, it's one layer of card. That doesn't mean that it only has to be one layer of interest. So the same way that you maybe build up your backgrounds in your journal page, but sort of keep them flat, similar idea. You can still have loads of layers and loads of interest, but with only one layer of card. I'm just going to grab the fossilized amber, which is a slightly darker yellow, and I'm just going to try and catch the edges of some of these circles, just so that we've got a different shades in them. Oh, that's nice. I'm working on some new stencils. I mean, at the minute they're only in my head. I haven't even drawn them out, but I'm very excited about the prospect of them. Okay, so we've got that. And then I think I love yellow and pink together, so I'm going to get my Kitsch Flamingo because it's one of my new favouriteest things, and some picture raspberry. So I haven't put a limit on the supplies that you can use, so we can kind of go mad with the supplies, because the challenge is in making it one layer. So we're both using the same stencils and stamps. We've both got to make a one layer card, but you know, the mediums that we choose to put on our project could be very different. It'd be interesting to see what Dawn has gone for. I think she'll probably end up doing dusky pink and purple in it somewhere. Okay, so I like that, and then so this is going to be my more full-on card. This isn't going to be my my plain and simple one. I like that. Do you know what I love about the stencil is the fact that it's got little dots in it too, and then you've just got these extra little dots. I love it. I love it. It's one advantage of designing your own stencils. It's just like these little things. These little things that make me happy. Right, I'm now going to do some stamping. So, I'm going to get this. It's one of Emma's burbs. It's a mess no matter what side I do it. Right, okay. I'm going to use this one here, and I think I am, for a bit of background, oops, And I'm going to get my grey memento, I think, just to, yeah, have different layers. And I'm going to just pop some text detail in various places. So, I mean, we've already got loads and loads of interest on here. It's fabulous. So I'm really interested. Dawn has since sent me a message saying she smashed it. So I'm hoping that she has done it. If she hasn't, we'll be doing this again sometime. Because I'm nice like that. I shouldn't laugh too much because she's not actually set the next challenge yet for the fortnight. I don't exactly know what we're doing. So yeah, I shouldn't laugh too hard because it might come to bite me in the bum. Right, so that's that. Yeah. I think I'm going to move on to my main stamping now, and I think I'm going to have, it's quite a big card, isn't it? What do I have on the 2 stamps? I've got a Superman theme tune in my head because Kezia has been watching Superman. I could make it a smaller card. That is an option. See, I'm kind of thinking, mind you, I like this scent. Right, I'm just going to start stamping. Start stamping and see what occurs. So, let's get this. Get the stamping block. Where's my nice one that I like? Where's my stamping block that I like? There it is. I like my Be Crafty Slims. Definitely got into the whole Slims thing. I likes it a lot. Right, we could have it more central maybe. And then, yeah, I think I'm going to do that and then build up some of the other florals in the corner. So, let's get this going about here. And then I'm just going to allow it a bit of time just for the ink to transfer onto the paper. Again, if you think of the logistics of it, it starts off on the stamp, we want it on the paper, so sometimes you just got to give it time to do its thing. Okay, so I've got that. And then I'm thinking I might have to make some masks. We'll see how we go. But if I do have to make some masks, I won't make you watch me. Make them all. Will this fit on here? Yeah. Okay. So let's have some stampage going on like this. I'm thinking. I'm just going to pull my sheet in again. Now this is the thing. There's an overstamp there, so I'm going to have to deal with that with my colouring at the colouring stage because I can't layer another card over, another flower over that because obviously it's a 1 layer card and that would be breaking the rules. And I'm a good girl I am, so I'm going to stick to the rules, especially as I set them. Could you imagine if Dawn did it and I didn't? Yeah, I can't see that going down too well. That would definitely come to bite me on the bum. So, there we go. I'm going to leave that because I'm going to try and bring in this little polka dot flower. Just for a bit of variation. So, I'm going to bring that in like so. See, this is where possibly a mask might be a good idea. I'll really get away with it. What other flowers do we have? I'll just put this here for just now. I may make a mask to fill that gap in there, but we'll just see for just now. Because we also have this stamp here here, this swirly one, which this is really not the way you should ink your stamp, it should be the other way around. Right, I'm going to just pop, just going to protect that a little bit and just try and get a swirl. There we go. Like so. Oh my god. Right, and then I will try and get one down this side. So I'm just trying to mask it off enough that it's not going to overlap too much. There we go. That's cute. Okay. Possibly a little bit just on this corner here as well. This will make much more sense when we start colouring, I think. Bring it to life a bit more, and then I think I might just bring a bit of that along the bottom there. That gap is going to bother me, so what I'm going to do is just make a couple of quick masks so that I can get a flower in the centre there. So the way I make a mask is, just trying to see what paper I've got next to me. I prefer a thinner, yeah, this one's a bit thinner. Okay, as I just get the stamp, and I tend to, I don't use any fancy products whatsoever. I will just stamp it, fussy cut it out, and then use a two-way glue on the back. So I am just going to do 2 of these. It doesn't matter about perfect stamping because it's going to be a mask. It's just about getting the shape. So I will cut these out and I'll come back once I've got the adhesive on the back. Okay. So that's where I made my masks, and then what I would do is I've got a little bit of this, the stick and spray. I also have a stencil glue, which I'm not quite sure what it is, or like your Zig two-way marker. Basically you need a two-way glue that sort of can give you a repositionable stick. That's probably me going a bit heavy-handed, but I'm just going to pop a bit of that on. Oops. Let that dry a little sec. Okay, and then I am going to, you can still see it, see that darker spot just there, still a bit wet, so I'm just going to allow that to dry. But once that's dried, what I will do is just be able to stick it down. So I'm trying to work out, yeah, if I put that one there, so I'm just going to cover over the areas that I don't want stamped over. So let's get this round the right way. Okay. I'm really interested to see how Dawn's approached this though. The thing is, I reckon that once she has mastered it, there'll be no stopping her. It's like when I got her to do the timed challenge, and then all of a sudden she does them quite a lot because she loves it. So I reckon that eventually she will thank me. Eventually you will constantly see one layered cards on Dawn's channel. That is my prediction. Don't know what she's got planned for me next time though. Right, I'm just going to grab that, and then it means I can now go in and I'll have filled out that little gap, but when I take that off it'll be sneaking behind those flowers now instead of, in fact I'm going to do one. As soon as I've got them out, I am going to do the same just there. And pop another one just there, because I can. Like that. It'll not be much, but it gives the illusion of like lots and lots of flowers. Right, the minute that looks a little bit like a dog's dinner. So I think I am going to get my Inktense pencils out, because to be honest I only ever get them out for shadowing. My husband bought me these as an anniversary present years and years ago. A beautiful set, I'll show you now. I mean, I did hint for a long time that I wanted them, and I was expecting a little tin of about 6 pencils, but he got me the entire set, and in a wooden presentation box. It's a thing of beauty. See? Just gorgeous. So I think I'm going to use them to actually do some colouring. So I'm going to go, I know I want to go pink. So I'm going to get some pinks for this umbrella one, and then I'm going to see how I go from there. So what I will do for this, I'm just going to give this pencil here a quick sharpen. Okay, so this will take me a little while to do, so I'm just going to talk you a little bit through my process, and then I will pop it on speed up. Let's move this out of the way. Right, so again I'm going to go into my shadow areas, and I'm just going to colour a little bit, like so. Okay, and there will be shadow by each of the creases of the umbrella shape. So I'm going to go in with a little bit of it there and just draw this in, because we can draw this out when we add water. Now the other thing to remember is the yellow and pink that we put down with the oxide is also water based, so that will move a little bit. Which is kind of why I've gone down with Inktense, because although it works like a watercolour, once it's activated with water and then dries, it becomes permanent, and so you can layer and layer and layer on top of it, and you're not going to move what's underneath, which is why I think it's an awesome product. But I'm just going to grab a spare bit of paper because I want to show you something. And I have shown this in some of my videos in the past, but it's been a while, so it's just to sort of show you. I'm just going to colour a bit like that. Okay, so what I find is I get my water and I work away from where I've coloured and work into it, and I find if I do that I get a lot more control as to how far out I am pulling the colour. I'm in control of that then. So I'm just going to show you the difference on a spare bit of paper. So that is my technique, and then I would gradually do that, and then once I've kind of got it where I want it, I can pull it out a bit more, or I might go in with a different shade of pink just to get that going. But I'm working shadow areas first, and as I said, I start off the colour and work into the colour. Because sometimes if I don't, I can end up with colour over here that I didn't want, so I work off and come it in. So this is why I just popped it on a scrap bit of paper so I can show you what I mean. I'll just get that. So I'll pop that aside, because what I will do, as I said, is I will start all that colouring on speed up. So I'm going to get two here and I'll show you what I mean. I'll get a bigger brush as well so that you can see it a bit better. Okay, if I start in the colour, I don't have much control and it can spread out where I don't want it to. I think this is a smooth card. Yeah, this is I need it better on a watercolour card. Where have I got? That's not moved at all because it's a smooth card which is not designed for watercolours. Right, so let's just take a bit here. Okay, so if I start on here, it bleeds out really quick with quite an intense colour, but if I didn't want my pink way down there, I wouldn't have got it. Now I'm not actually going to change my brush, but if I work, actually I'm going to have to clear it just so that I get water. If I work off and into the colour, I can kind of keep the colour where I'd originally put it without the same bleed. I don't know if you can see that. Okay, so that is why I do it like that, because I get more control. So I work off and into the pencil work rather than the other way around. So what I'm going to do you now is pop you on fast forward while I continue to colour all of this and all the other flowers, and we'll come back once it's all coloured up. this is looking now. As you'll have seen at the end, I started adding a bit of green. As I was going round it, I was liking the florals, but I was thinking it just looked too heavy. It was needing something to break it up, and unfortunately the stamps didn't come with greenery. And then this bit here just sort of happened to bring out the water too far, and then I was like, oh, that would work. Because what I was originally thinking, which I still might do actually, was I was just going to activate my... I'm just flicking a brush against the pencil and just creating a few splatters. So I've still added them because I just think it sort of softens it a little bit. And now I'm definitely much happier. Those splatters have made a difference as well. Fabulous. Right, I am toying with the idea of... Probably shouldn't be edging this quite so soon after doing splatters, because I will end up smudging one of them. Bound to. This pen is really drying out. I need to get a new one, but of course Hobbycraft is closed. There's no sign of it opening till end of April at least, so I'm just going to have to put up with it. I don't know that I'm going to order one pro marker online. It's barely worth the postage. Right, so I'm going to do that. I'm going to get it framed. I'm going to doodle a border and get my sentiment on. And part of me is very tempted to get one of the more neutral souffles. Addicted. I wonder if Dawn's used any souffles. We're both pretty addicted to them, to be honest. Right, I'm gonna... Do you know what? I'm just going to give that a few seconds to dry properly so I don't smudge it when I stamp over it. So I'm going to make myself a cuppa, and then I'll be back. Okay, so I've got a cuppa, which is just as well. Because life is mad. And yeah. Right, so I'm going to stamp my sentiment down and doodle. And then I am going to decide... I thought that would fit there, but it doesn't. I'll put it right down the bottom then. So we'll go there. There we go. So we've got that, and then if I grab my pens and okay, and then I'll add a little bit of a doodle border. So again, we're still only on one layer of card. I have used the Dolly Dimples Mixed Media card, and I think if you are going to make a one layer card that is going to take lots of mediums, that is one tip to think about. Make sure that you use a card base that can take it. The shop bought ones that are sort of pre-folded in half, they're maybe not going to take as much abuse as a card that has been designed for it. So I have just taken an A4 piece of the, as I said, the Mixed Media Dolly Dimple card. It still sort of curls slightly, but it's slightly wet there. But what I would do is, once I'm finished, is I would put this under a pile of books and it would flatten naturally anyway. Yeah, so I have grabbed, I'm just going to pull my stencil back in, and I'm going to grab a palette knife, and I have got my Precious Opal Souffle. And I'm thinking that what I might do is just put a thin layer of, oh, I've got something stuck to my palette knife, a thin layer of this, just as an added bit of interest to the card. And then hopefully it will dry. Well, I've still got the other one to make, but maybe it'll dry whilst I'm making the other one. If not, once again, I'll be filming in the morning, but I don't want to be filming in the morning because we're having a bit of a day as a family tomorrow, because it was our wedding anniversary yesterday. So, yeah, we've sort of decided that this weekend is sort of for the family, and we're going to, we've got a few presents, we're going to go for a walk and stuff like that, so I don't really want to be sort of taking time finishing off editing. Oh, that's nice. Right, so I'm just going to neaten that at the edge there, because it will dry hard. Dry clear, but because this thing is, this will dry clear, and it'll dry with, I'm just going to take this extra excess off so the card is not filthy. So let's just do that. Yeah, so this will dry clear, and it will dry with a little bit of subtle dimension and the gorgeous sparkly inclusions. This is like my new favourite thing. But again, so you can still go justice to town with a 1-layer card, which is, I think that's why I've chosen or had in the challenge that we have 2 styles. So one of it was like lots of layers, mixed media and everything, and one of it is going to be a clean and simple. So it was to sort of show, just because we're going clean and simple, doesn't mean, just because we're going 1 layer, doesn't mean you can't still throw everything at it like you would normally. You can still have like layers of mediums and textures, but it's just your card base remains flat, which when we're paying a fortune for postage and things could actually be a quite good thing. So that is almost my card finished. We've got the doodling on, we've got all the added bits, we just need to wait for that medium to dry now, but I'm going to pop that to the side. As I said, hopefully we might get a better idea of what that'll be like by the time I finish card number 2. So I'm going to clear up, reorganise my station and get back to you for card number 2. So it's time for card number 2, and I'm going to go with Dotty Daisy. So let's get that all inked up, and then I think I'm going to stamp that about there. Just press it for a little moment, like so. There we go. And like I did on the other card, I've made a mask, and I'm just going to, I haven't masked off all the teeny weeny twiddly bits because I didn't really feel the need to. I'm not too bothered if they get affected too much by it. And then I am going to grab the Stamp-Lementals 2, and I'm going to take this border. Okay. And I call it facing inwards. I'm going to just stamp that there, like so. And then I think I want it ending right there. So try to do this in a way that I can see what I'm doing. There we go. We'll pop that about there. And lift. Okay. And now I'm going to just stamp a little bit along here. Like so. Like that. And then I'm going to take my mask off, and we have got something like that. It's gone a bit squint at the bottom there, but that's fine. That's fine. Right, now I think I will pull in, what should we play with? My Echelines, I think. Because it would be nice to have a nice bright daisy. I'm just trying to see where I have thrown my blending map. It should be under here somewhere. Oh, honestly, I would lose my brain if it was not screwed. Mind you, sometimes I think I have lost my brain. We'll use this. Okay. It'll do. Right, so I'm going to do some very, very loose watercolouring, not as controlled as when I was doing it with the Inktense pencils. So I'm going to grab some yellows, and I'm going to grab a teal, and then possibly a little bit of orange. Like that hopefully should do us. So I am going to just watercolour this daisy in. So I'm going to start off by putting water on the petals first. The cool thing about watercolours is you never have to be afraid. It will never travel further than the water is, which is cool. And I quite like the wet on wet technique. It gets a lot of movement, and yeah, it's very cool. And I'm going to be doing like sort of splatters coming out from it as well. So as I said, if it goes over slightly, I'm really not that fast. And I'm just going to let it drop it in and let it do its thing. Put a bit of that colour down. So keeping this very, very simple. It does bother me slightly that that's a little bit squinty, but we'll see what we can do about that. Right, then I'll maybe grab some of the darker yellow, and I'm just going to pop that at the top. And as I said, because we're working wet on wet, it'll just find its own path, but then that way we get a little bit of shading, which just makes it fun. You know I'm all about the shading. I likes me shading. So we've got that going in there, and then that's giving us a multi-tonal effect without too much stress. So just drop it in and let the water do its thing. That's one thing I absolutely love about watercolours. Right, so I'm going to do the same now. I've got to tell I've cleaned my brush really well. So I've already got a bit of yellow on there, but that's okay because I was going to go yellow anyway. But I was just going to drop a little bit of orange into it, just to give it a bit of contrast from the petals. Okay, and then I'm going to do the same in here. As I said, you can tell I'm really not cleaning my brush overly well, but the fact I'm working with all the same colour tone, it's neither here nor there, so it's fine. Right, what I might do is let's grab a bit more of that orange, and then I'm just going to fill in the polka dot elements. There we go. And then now I'm going to again just pop my water in. This is going to be the sum total of the watercolouring of the stuff that I'm doing. I want it really loose. So we've got that there. I'm going to scribble a little bit of teal, a little bit of the teal blue. I'm going to get that in and then drop a bit of yellow into it, and it's my favourite way of making green. I think you just get a really beautiful multi-tonal effect, and you get some really nice bright lines, but you also get the depth of colour where the teal hits, like that. That is going to be me. I actually might, just because this is a little bit squint and it's going to bother me, I might just pop a little bit of colour going on round here, because then I can bring that up into the doodle, sort of straighten it a little bit. I wasn't going to do that, I was actually going to colour the doodle, but instead we'll colour the edge. We're still keeping it clean and simple. There we go. I'll wash over that, all of that. And then, as I said, you can see that my line is going over the doodles there, which is sort of straightening it a little bit, or like just the way the brain is seeing it. It's not seeing it as quite as squint as it was before. And then I'm going to grab a bit of the different shades. So let me get that one. I'm going to pick that, and let's get a few of the yellow, the bright yellow splatters. Okay, and then I'm going to grab some of the orange. I'm going to get some orange splatters on there as well. And I'm going to leave that dry. Then we'll stamp a sentiment and edge it in black, and that'll be us done. Okay, so I'm just going to add my sentiment, and I'm just going to take the bloom sentiment from that same stamp set, the the Dotty Daisy. So I'm just going to get that. And then I'm going to get my black pen and just edge it, the same as I do with absolutely everything. It wouldn't be me if we didn't. But I especially think when you're doing clean and simple cards that this just takes them to another level. Right, so we're going to get that all round there, and then what I will do is let's bring the two cards together and have a look at what we've managed to create. And I can't wait to see what Dawn has done. I'm interested to see if she's stuck to the rules. And I'm also interested to see how she's approached it. So let's look at them both together. Okay, so that is my two cards all finished. So this is the one that's sort of more mixed media vibe, but still on a layer. And I'm glad I went with adding the extra sparkle. It's just added a little bit of extra something, a bit of extra dimension. So we've got that one, and then we have this one here, which is our clean and simple ones. So I have to apologise, in between letting this dry, I've been working on another project, and as you can see it was a messy one, and I've scrubbed my hands about 10 times, and with alcohol wash and all sorts, and it's going to be there for a while, I think. Anywho, back to where we are right now. These are the completed cards. I absolutely cannot wait to see what Dawn has done, so please make sure you pop over to her channel and see how she got on with her one layer cards. And yeah, if you have enjoyed it here, please do consider liking and subscribing, and I will be back with some more crafty goodness for you very soon. In the meantime, take care and goodbye.